Neil deGrasse Tyson has always been respected for his gift to take the universe's most complex secrets and make them into concepts that reflect the awe and the apprehension of ordinary individuals. Whenever he presents new evidence, the world has learned to catch its breath, knowing that what he provides is not just science but also an offer to see how celestial forces collide with the delicate material of human life. His most recent revelation was all about the mysterious interstellar visitor known as 3E Atlas, and what he presented was anything but cold. This was not a mere heavenly rock floating anonymously within space. Rather, it was a hidden message encoded in the terminology of cosmic mechanics, serving as a cold reminder to humanity of how precarious its situation in the universe really is. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, remember to hit the like button and subscribe for more. Atlas initially raised eyebrows when astronomers observed it acting unlike typical visitors. Like its forebears, Oumuamua and Borisov, it came into our solar system from interstellar space. But, unlike them, it showed features that defied tidy scientific categorization. Tyson's disclosures pulled back the veil, revealing bizarre orbital trajectories, structural clues, and energy outbursts that were considerably more unsettling than the concept of a benign blob of ice or rock mere speeding past our planets. What most disturbed scientists was not its shape or speed itself, but the uncertainty of its motion, nearly as if the universe itself were probing the limits of humanity's assumptions. When the velocity data was revealed by Tyson, it showed a body hurtling through space with momentum that defied normal gravitational pull. Normally, such bodies decelerate somewhat as the sun's gravity pulls on them. Atlas, however, seemed to be speeding up at certain intervals, as if there were some invisible force driving it. Even more disturbing, this acceleration was not random, nor did it follow the natural bursts of gas and dust normally formed by sublimating ice. Rather, the data indicated bursts of energy of a precision that seemed controlled. Even the possibility of such regulation changed the discussion from curiosity to existential terror, as it implied that 3E Atlas was being ruled according to principles over the understanding of humanity. To add to the enigma, spectral scans of Atlas showed a composition that shifted between types constantly. Sometimes its surface contained metals typical of planetary cores, sometimes it was reading astronomical amounts of organic material far beyond anything previously found on interstellar travelers. Such an unstable identity would suggest either a violent history of monstrous collisions or, more horrifically, an intentional configuration defying the neat compartmentals humans like to apply to the universe. Tyson emphasized the significance. If Atlas bore such a hybrid composition, interstellar objects could not be simple debris careening through space but possible bearers, able to seed life or destruction to other worlds. Arguably the most chilling moment was when Tyson showed models of how Atlas had moved in relation to the outer planets. The gravitational contours implied that its entrance was not coincidental. Rather, it appeared to have navigated through the solar system's gravitational boulevards with deliberate purpose, as if with precision guidance. For those who tend to see the universe as cold and uncaring, this was a blow. If its path was deliberate, then humanity was forced to consider the possibility that other intelligences were already present throughout interstellar space, dispatching emissaries in the form of objects such as Atlas. What increased the alarm was the atypical timeline of its journey. Contrary to previous interstellar travelers, which whizzed by within months, Atlas stayed on. Its prolonged visit, brought about by strange gravitational interactions, permitted scientists to gather more information, but also provided them with more time to observe disturbing anomalies. Instruments picked up weak but unmistakable electromagnetic pulses emanating from its surface. These weren't stray signals or cosmic background radiation. Rather, they showed rhythmic patterns that implied, if not blatant communication, at least the faint trace of purpose. Tyson called for restraint against making hasty assumptions, but the notion hung in the air. Something about Atlas was talking, if only humanity didn't have the capability to hear it. In addition to scientific ramifications, the discoveries posed deep questions of existence. If 3E Atlas was more than a mere object, if it had properties or mechanisms beyond human understanding, then Earth teetered on a dangerous edge. Tyson described this as not an instantaneous collision crisis but a crisis of ignorance. Humanity does not possess the means to read the intentions, natural or otherwise, of interstellar guests. The most horrifying aspect wasn't the threat of impact, but the growing awareness that the universe had brought in a wild card that could no longer be eliminated as mere coincidence. As the evidence mounted, one factor stood out above all: the possible effect on life. Tyson focused on the double-edged nature of Atlas's organic materials. On the positive side, they might be precursors to biology, molecules with the power to seed desolate planets. On the negative side, their sheer volume implied they could overwhelm delicate ecosystems with chemistry incompatible with the kind of life we know. Thus, Atlas was a symbol of both creation and destruction, the source of life and the cause of extinction. It was a stark reminder of just how thin the line is between prosperity and oblivion. Perhaps more foreboding was the possibility that Atlas was not alone. Tyson's simulations suggested that if such an object had traveled into our solar system with such accuracy, there could be many more already making the journey. Humanity's observatories and detection capabilities, improving as they are still too limited to track every nook of the immense ocean of cosmos. Atlas, therefore, might be less a lone outlier and more a warning sign, a drop of water predicting an undisclosed flood. Humans have reassured themselves for centuries that Earth, while small, has a relatively stable and secure niche in the Milky Way. Atlas shattered that illusion with precision. The universe is not silent, Tyson reminded his listeners. It is agitated, and it warns us, aside from blazing cataclysms, at least, not with mere words, but with things like Atlas that materialize unheralded and hang about with unnerving purpose. The real horror is not blockbuster asteroid crashes, but in the dawning realization that we will never know what these guests bring with them until they arrive. Tyson's revelation pierced not just at the center of astronomy but also at human culture and philosophy. If Atlas acts with purpose, it compels us to address questions regarding agency in the grand scale of the universe. If it is natural, then it demonstrates that the universe holds systems of moving matter over interstellar distances far greater than anything we had fantasized. Either case is horrifying, as both remove assurance and push man into a domain where understanding fails. The most chilling aspect of Tyson's disclosure wasn't the bare facts, but the silence that hung after them. The audience knew in an instant that this was no remote abstraction, it was a here-and-now reality. Atlas was upon us, threading through the solar system, bringing with it secrets that could reshape our very concept of survival, death, and existence itself. Tyson had once more made the universe a mirror, not just reflecting the stars up there but the boundaries of human sight. His revelations regarding 3E Atlas constituted a point in time that compels civilizations to reconsider their position in the universe. The information already leaked, the speeding motion, ghostly irregularities, and ghostly signals, was disturbing enough, but only a faint intimation of the profounder scientific, technological, and philosophical ramifications. With every subsequent step in analysis, there appeared new grounds for alarm, none of which made the horror less overpowering. The orbital solutions revealed Atlas in motion not as an inert body governed only by gravity but as if it grasped the gravitational wells and escape channels of planetary systems. Scientists avoided the temptation to qualify it as engineered, but the suggestion remained, if not a machine, then maybe a natural phenomenon so complicated that it seemed engineered. Either idea set humanity eyeball to eyeball with something greater than itself. Even with all our telescopes and satellites, Atlas slipped into awareness only after it had already established its presence. This wasn't due to neglect but rather to the limitations of current detection software, which was never designed for interstellar trajectories. Tyson stressed that unless humanity drastically improves its systems, other objects may pass unnoticed until it is too late. In this sense, Atlas is a harsh reminder of just how blind Earth truly is. Its bizarre combination of metals and organics led to more unsettling possibilities. It may be a fragment plucked from the center of a broken planet or the remains left from impacts of planetary embryos. If either, it bore with it the tacit witness of cosmic disasters, evidence that stability in the universe is ephemeral. Atlas was not a visitor, it was an ambassador from some bygone disaster. The availability of high levels of organics added a more disquieting risk: interstellar contamination. If Atlas were to engage with the planet's environment, it might remake biology in perpetuity. By seeding new life or upsetting current ecosystems, such contamination might rewrite evolution. Tyson noted the importance of the realization that planetary defense cannot be solely about deflection, it must also deal with biochemical threats. Tyson's presentation revealed that humans had underappreciated the prevalence of such interstellar travelers. Scientists had long believed they were incredibly scarce, appearing maybe once in centuries. But with 3 already identified in just a few years, that hypothesis has imploded. The galaxy could be full of drifters like Atlas, unseen as they move until they suddenly pop into view. And this leads to the most somber conclusion: Earth is not alone. It is embedded in a greater cosmic web, susceptible to collisions that it cannot prevent. Whether Atlas is natural or something artificial, its persistent presence compels us to face the tenuous, tentative nature of our existence.